Hi, I'm Aisha Casey, and my company is Isaac and C Entertainment. I am a director, producer, and writer. I've done a music video show that I filmed my own music video, and then I introduced some people that had music videos and their directors. That's called Lyrics to Life. I have done a beauty fashion behind the scenes show. It's called Behind the Look. And the last show that I did was a sketch comedy show. It's called Hours After Midnight. Those are all on Facebook. But you can find all that stuff on my website as well. Currently, I am working on a web series called Alamos Coast to Coast. It's a 9-episode web series. The pilot is online, YouTube, Almost Coast to Coast. And I am in the end stages of filming episodes 2 through 9. So yeah, I am a no film school, all the way kind of self-taught filmmaker, if that's what you want to call it. I prefer to call it content maker because I don't make films. I haven't made a film yet. I'm going to, but right now I'm just working on television and web series. So I kind of started out as a PA, just going on different college sets and different network sets. I started in the industry as a background actor. I did a lot of network shows just as a background actor, and that got me interested in wanting to know, how this all works. I would rather be a creator than someone standing in front of the camera. As we all see now, I don't like being on camera. And I found myself wanting to create and definitely wanting to direct. So I took a course on producing and directing at BRIC, which is the Brooklyn local public television station. I took a course there. I took several courses there, one on 3-camera studio production, one on field production, and one on a mini studio production. I mean, film school costs thousands and thousands of dollars. The courses there, you can take a $100 course, you can take a $10 course, you can take a $30 course and learn basically the same things that you would learn in film school. Sorry to say. So it's just so beneficial, and I think that not a lot of people know to take that route because every state, every city has a public television station, and they want people to come there and create content. So they're basically, giving away use of their equipment, their studios and things like that. And you would just be surprised at the number of people that don't know anything about that. So it's like a really tremendous opportunity that I learned to take advantage of before I moved back to New York. But then when I got back to New York, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to film school. I'm going to go to this $5 school and do the same thing, basically. Everyone I met along the way changed everything for me. So my first, after I finished my last theater show, someone on the set of that show told me about a Bollywood film that was needing background actors. So I applied for it, and I did get into the film. So when I was on set there, I met this guy who, I was living in DC at the time. So he was big in the Maryland scene as far as background acting, and he told me basically everything I needed to know about getting started if I wanted to go the acting route. So he was very instrumental in my, starting this. But every time I go to a different experience, there's somebody there that's going to teach me something, or something that I can learn, or I can tell them something that they didn't know. So it's such a collaborative medium that you learn something from everyone. I would tell everyone starting out to listen to, if you're writing, find all the writing podcasts, listen to those. If you're going to be directing or producing, find producing podcasts. They give you a wealth of information that it doesn't matter what state you're in, you still need to know that stuff that you don't learn in film school or in, a little local course. Those podcasts have been, tremendous in giving me confidence, telling me how to network, telling me where to network, and just, introducing me to people that I wouldn't have otherwise known about. As far as finding work, well, if you're in New York City, I would definitely suggest Production Hub. I would suggest Media Match. And there are some other sites, I don't know if I would go the Craigslist route, but there are a lot of filmmaker groups on Facebook, and I would suggest that you go and join those groups. And also meetup.com. There's a lot of filmmaker meetups, and you get to network and find, different people that know different things. Here's what I've learned throughout doing like the variety shows and then starting to do the web series. I've done a lot of casting in the last 3 years. For a first-time filmmaker or someone just starting out, if you're doing a web series, if you're doing a film or whatever, if you're writing it, here's my number one tip. Only cast about 3 people and only have your film take place in 1 to 2 locations. If it's a web series, if it's 4 minutes, 10 minutes or whatever, you don't need a giant cast and you don't need 12 locations, because that is just a scheduling nightmare, and you have to deal with so many people and their attitudes and their availability and their non-availability, and can I get this location and can I not, and how much does it cost? If you don't have any money and you're just trying to get out there and throw something online, start really small. I would even recommend a 1-person, 1-woman, 1-man show. But if you want, some variety, 2 to 3 people, that's it. Make sure you have a casting call. Make sure that when you have that casting call, you don't let the actors come in with their own material. You need to let them read something that you have written so that you know that they can handle doing your material, and not just something that they have already practiced and been doing themselves for like months and months. And they take that and get in front of everybody. That you need to know that they can get in front of you and do your work. A really important thing that I've learned about writing is if you want to write a script, you need to read scripts. You need to read hundreds of scripts. You need to read movie scripts, television scripts, any type of script that you can get your hands on, because it's going to make you a better writer and it's going to show you the different formats. So let's say you want to write a show for NBC or a show for any network, ABC, CBS, blah, blah, blah. They write differently than they write on cable, Bravo, Showtime, HBO. It's a different form of writing because of the commercial space, because of what you can say, what you can't say. You really need to be familiar with all types of writing before you just say, okay, I'm going to just go and run and write this script. Always rewrite. Once you finish your script, you're not finished your script. That's your first draft. That's your 0 draft. Make sure you rewrite. Make sure you might not trust like your family or your friends to read it, but make sure you send it to somebody that's also in the industry. If you have friends that are trying to be filmmakers, send it around to 2 or 3 people, get 2 or 3 different opinions, so that when you rewrite, you're rewriting a solid script. Be able to take criticism, because they're going to give it, and it hurts. It hurts. I had a script that I was submitting for a director's program out in LA, and I poured my heart into that little first draft, and then I sent it to film people, and they were like, this is just a bunch of scenes, but what's going on? So I read it again, and I was like, you know what? They're right. I was pissed. I kind of hated them, and I was like, how dare you? But that's just how it is. So, but when I rewrote it, it was a great script after that. It was totally different, but totally focused, and it had the elements that it needed to have. So if you're going to write scripts, you need to study scripts, and you need to trust people to critique. Talk to people that you know, but people that have the experience that you're going to look for in a crew. But also you have to think about keeping your crew as small as possible. You don't want to have a situation where you're trying to produce something, maybe you wrote it, maybe you didn't, and then you want to bring in like 75 people to be a part of your crew. That's just never going to work for you. You're going to have too many people in your ear with their opinions and what they have going on. It's really a time for you to focus on your content. It's time for you to focus on what you're trying to bring about. And if there's too many, fish in the pot or whatever, too many chefs in the kitchen, it's really going to take longer than you expected it to take. you're gonna burn bridges, you're gonna, you know, lose friends, things like that. That's not where you're going for. You're trying to create your art, right? So choose a good group of people, choose people that you are comfortable around and that you know you can rely on, and keep it small. A lot of the people that I work with now and stick with now are people that I met on another set. A couple of years ago, you know, I just did a film with an NYU student, and you know, when you're with a group of people and you can see that they have talent and they know what they're doing and they're not like, you know, can we say is this going to be on PBS? And they're not like, you know, people with like really strong, crazy attitudes or mentally ill, because you do find some mentally ill people on set. So, you know, I kind of, throughout the years, we all worked on different projects with each other. And yeah, so we just kept in touch, and, you know, I still work with them now. Casting is a process, and you have to be on top of it, and you have to know where to go to find actors, not just people that think they can act. And I touched on that before. You know, you got to bring them in to read your material. Make sure you have, you know, a real casting call. And don't intimidate the actors with 75 people in the room when you're doing a casting call. Let's do a casting call with the director and the writer. If that's two different people, that's all you need. You don't need a table full of 6. This is not freaking, what is it, American Idol or whatever. Just don't intimidate people like that. I guess I know a lot because coming from the actor background, watching actors, you know, industry actors, Hollywood people, I have empathy for the actors plus the empathy for the crew because I've been on both sides. So as a producer director, not a lot of people have that experience. The crew, not all of them have the acting experience on the other side of the camera. So that's also something to highlight, to know that you should respect your actors, respect their time, respect, you know, that they need to be taken care of and fed and directed and given the information that they need to bring your work to life. Go to different websites to find the actors. You can post on Facebook and all of the 50 million actors Facebook groups that there are. You can go online to Mandy.com or to castingnetworks.com and you put up your casting call. All that stuff is free. You don't have to pay for it. You put your casting call up and then you get your, you know, hundreds of people that apply to be in your project. So then first it's all about going through their pictures and seeing what you're looking for as far as your character. You go through their pictures, oh, that person looks like, you know, the character that I had in my mind. And then you organize your casting call. You send everyone an email when they're available and you set up your room. I would say you know, rent a space, or maybe you can do it in a restaurant or at your office if you have that. You know, your table, you take your sides for your actors to read. You send those to the actors beforehand so that they know this is what I'm going to be reading. This is what I need to prepare. You know, you set up your table, make sure you have some type of video device so that you can take the footage of them running your scene, and you let them work it out. Let them work it out in front of you. If you want different takes on what they've prepared, ask them. This is your time to see if they can take direction from you. So ask them to do different things for you. Then see if they have something on their own that they can give you after that. But that's only if you have enough time, you know. You also don't want to schedule like 50 different actors for one day unless you have the time to do that. But recognize you're going to be tired. If you have somebody there with you, they're going to be tired. So you don't want to, you know, overbook yourself. Then after that, you know, depending on where you're casting, maybe you select your top 3. You need to consult with them over like your scheduling time to see if you have anybody that's about to drop out of the country. We're in New York City. A lot of people are in New York City on a limited visa, just so you know. They might have to leave the country in 2 to 3 months and never be coming back, and you're depending on them for your entire project. That's not going to work for you. So you definitely need to ask questions of your actors when they come in to see you. You know, go over your shooting schedule, what you think it's going to be, and see if they're going to be down for that. Then, you know, it's up to you. You're going to pick who's the best person that fits your role, and that's basically it. Don't cast your friends. Don't cast your friends. And don't cast people who you don't know if they can act. If you haven't seen them at a casting call, then you don't want them in front of your camera, because you can't direct someone who cannot act. Sorry. It's just, and you're going to ruin your entire project. That viewership that was watching you online is going to turn it off because you didn't take the time to really make sure that you had good actors. You're not in front of the camera. Your writing is sort of in front of the camera, but they're looking at who's delivering your writing. And if they're not delivering well, then you're done. You will not be walking down that red Oscar carpet. Nice. I mean, I have a story. Okay, so this was my first production, period. My first on my own production. So I'd got the crew together, and the day before we were going to film, the DP, several of the crew members, like leaving me with no crew, called and were like, oh, you know, I don't think I want to shoot this. I think we need to wait a little while. I think, you know, I need more time or whatever. I had booked a location. I had about 30 actors coming, which again, don't do 30 actors. I had everything set. I had paid for food. I had paid, you know, there was a lot going on. And then for me to like magically all of a sudden the night before the shoot, not have a crew, I thought that I was going to just die. But I didn't die, and my crew did not drop out. And, you know, there was some more talk about there was a miscommunication and things like that. And then we went on set and we rocked it out. So, you know, have faith in yourself, speak up, make sure you communicate with everybody, you know, beforehand and through the process a little bit. You know, it's not easy. It's not a thing that you just walk into and like, okay, let me point and shoot. This is not that, you know. You really need to be ready and prepared for every day, every sequence, everything that you're gonna start to do. I know a lot of people that just write something and they're like, okay, let me go shoot it. You shouldn't just do that. You really need to be prepared, because what's the point of putting out crap? What's the point of that? I mean, if you're trying to get into the industry, you're trying to get your name out there, why would you want your name on crap? Take your time. There is not a rush.
Hey guys, John Eagan here from Dreamfire Films. I hope this video was helpful. Check out our other videos and our free action scene digital sample pack at dreamfirefilms.com. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and you know what? Why not share it with your fellow filmmakers as well? Alright, catch you later.